And then for Christmas coming up, we've got this project, and then we've got that one to do. And you know, actually, how many days do we have until Christmas? Let's see, that's 30. 30 is 40, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. Oh my gosh. We only have 61 days until Christmas. 61 days until Christmas. Where does the time go? Well, pumpkin lattes, pumpkin spice lattes, it's been fun. But now I think it's time to switch to peppermint mochas and gingerbread. Christmas, here we come. It is so good to see all of you. I missed last week and I missed all of you. It's good to be back and I am ready to kick off our, dare I say this at the end of October, but we're going to kick off our holiday season. I am looking forward to this. I have got so many fun things planned for us all through the rest of this month and all through November. We're just going to be working on all things Christmas, making some fun Christmas home decor, some fun crafty things. It's going to be a fun holiday season. So for today, this is going to be like a little prologue to our holiday season. We're going to be making some really fun candle holders or some candle risers that I feel like could be used year-round pretty much. I think you could use these in your year-round decor, but I am designing these today and creating these today with Christmas in mind. So we are going to head out into the shop. Michael's going to be joining us. He's going to give us a helping hand. I'm looking forward to hanging out, doing some crafting together, some creating. So y'all, without further ado, let's head out to the shop and get busy creating.
So for our candle risers today, I did want to have some of our candle bases turned. So Michael went ahead and prepared these chunks of wood for the lathe, and then we just drew out a couple of designs that we thought we would like to try for our candle risers. So this is where we're going to go from here. Michael's getting everything set up on the lathe, and y'all, I really love watching him turn pieces. It is so relaxing. It's fascinating to me how we just take this chunk of wood and turn it into something so beautiful. So I am just going to let y'all sit back and enjoy watching Michael transform this chunk of wood into a really cool candle riser. I love this process so much. It is so amazing to me how Michael just took that chunk of wood and turned it into something so cool. So after we were satisfied with the way our candle base was looking, Michael does come in and sand everything down nice and smooth. And we did start with a 60 grit and work all the way up to a 320 grit so that this really was a silky smooth piece. And y'all, we loved the first one so much that we decided to go ahead and turn a second one. And these are how they turned out. Aren't they so cool? I'm just so in awe of Michael's talents. So I am really loving these. The only thing I don't think I'm too keen on is though how the grain is really striped in these. It's just a very striped grain. So I may end up painting the bases for our candle risers. However, these tops I'm going to go ahead and leave in the natural wood because they're maple, and I really love the look of maple. Aren't these going to be so much fun? I can't wait to get them finished. Okay, so moving on, I'm going to make a set of 3 here, and I thought for the very last one we would just create something a little bit funky. So I kind of like these upside down U-shaped legs, and so I'm just going to go ahead and cut these out on the scroll saw. Now, if you don't have a scroll saw, you could very easily cut these out with a jigsaw as well. Since getting our laser cutter, I haven't played too much with the scroll saw, and oh my gosh, y'all, I think I have forgotten how much I love working with the scroll saw. I enjoyed this so much. This whole process was just very relaxing for me, and it was just satisfying. There was just something very satisfying about knowing that I cut these out with just my hands and a little help from this saw blade. All right, so we've made our last final little cut here, and I'm pretty satisfied. I feel like this turned out pretty good. I have one little notch here, but that's going to be super easy to sand out. So for the most part, I feel very happy with how these fun little legs turned out. So now we get to move on to the fun part, and that is actually assembling all of these. So here I'm just kind of playing around a little bit with my thoughts and just kind of getting my thoughts together and trying to make a decision exactly how I wanted to assemble these. And so in the end, I decided to use these cute little dowel pegs and some wood glue. And so I'm going to go ahead and find centers on each of our bases. I've already got the centers marked on the top part. So I will find center on the bases by using my handy little paper trick, and I simply just trace this out. Trace out the circle pattern, cut it out, and then I will fold this into fourths, draw a little X through the center of it, and the middle of the X is where our center is. It's such an easy process, and it makes things so much easier when you're trying to find center on round pieces so that you don't have to sit and do all of that math. So you can see after you fold this round into fourths, you get a line, you get the division line. And so I just go ahead and mark out that X with my pencil just to define it and make it really prominent so I know exactly where the center is. And then I just poke a little tiny hole through the center of that. And this is how I'm going to mark it onto our candle base. So I just set our round up there, mark it with the hole, and I kind of make sure I mark it pretty clear. I want it to be real clear so that I can see it. And then, just to be sure that this method was actually foolproof, I wanted to double check myself because, sometimes you don't get it perfect, but this one happened to be spot on. So I was super happy about that. And now we can just move on to our next step, which is going to be pre-drilling all of our holes. So for the top piece, I wanted to make sure that I did not drill all the way through on this because I clearly don't want a hole at the top of my candle riser. So I just held my drill bit up to that, marked it with a piece of tape so that once my drill hits that tape, then I know that's where I need to stop so that I don't go all the way through. This is also a fun little trick. It works great. And it's super handy. Again, you don't have to sit and do a whole bunch of math. So I'm just going to go ahead and finish drilling all of our pieces and getting them prepared and ready to assemble. Of course, all this drilling made a mess, so we're just going to take a brief intermission so I can quickly clean up. Now that the pieces have been prepared for assembly, I did decide to go ahead and paint the bases on these. So I'm just quickly going to do that, and ta-da, just like that, they've been painted and y'all didn't have to sit and watch me do that step. I did use some black chalk paint, and then I came in and sealed all of these with some clear wax just to give it a little bit of that extra silky sheen. To assemble them, I'm going to be using some of my Tite Bond wood glue. This is my favorite wood glue, and I don't really have a reason why I like this so much other than I do feel like it really has a good, strong adhesion. So I place a little bit of wood glue on the top of our leg, and I also put some on the peg, and then I simply just press this down onto our little dowel peg, and that is going to give us some extra hold while our glue is setting up. I liked doing it this way because I didn't have to get out all the clamps and deal with clamping all of the pieces together. So I'm just going to repeat that exact same process, put a little glue on the top of the leg and some glue on the peg, and then drop it down in our pre-drilled hole. For the turned pieces, it's basically the same thing, just rinse and repeat type process here. I added some glue to the turned piece, the candle base, and then I'll put the peg into the top and press it down on top. And then I flip it upside down and press pretty hard just to make sure that they made full contact. If they don't, you may want to use a mallet hammer to tap them down just a little bit to make sure that you get really good contact between the two pieces to allow that wood glue to properly do its job. Naturally, we got a little bit of squeeze out, so I did come in and attempt to clean this up with a Q-tip. However, the Q-tip didn't do a very good job, so I did end up coming back in with a damp paintbrush to clean up the rest, and that worked so much better. However, this glue does dry clear, so if you missed a little, you really don't notice it. So we're going to go ahead and finish this last one off. This is our last one, and with this one, it's just the same process, a little bit of glue on the base, a little bit of glue on the peg, but with this one, I had to tap pretty hard to get that peg in there, so y'all, be prepared for a big bump right about now. Is everyone feeling sufficiently dizzy now? I'm not sure why this one gave me a little trouble, but we got it in there. I wasn't going to let it get the best of me, so I got the peg in, and now I'll just go ahead and attach the base to this. Same thing, I just press down really, really hard to make sure I get good contact between the two pieces, and I let these set for a couple of hours to fully set up, let that glue completely harden and give us a good, strong adhesion. So this is how they turned out. I really like them. I am very pleased with the final look of these and can hardly wait to style them. These are just some fun ideas of how y'all can use these candle risers. Of course, I haven't decorated for Christmas yet, so you're still going to see these mixed in with my fall decor, but aren't they lovely? I think they turned out so pretty. They really are going to be a nice addition to my Christmas decor.
I would like to just take a quick moment to thank Rose Forever for sponsoring today's episode. They reached out to me and asked me if I would be willing to try one of their candles, and of course I had to say yes, because who doesn't love a candle, a good candle? I know I do, and I love having them in my home. This particular candle has been so enjoyable. It's got the most delightful scent. It's very calming and very tranquil, and I've enjoyed it. I've moved it all around my house. I've enjoyed it in several different spaces. I think it would make a wonderful addition to your bathroom, your living room, your dining room, the bedroom, and y'all, I even took it out to the wood shop and enjoyed it while I was out working, and it just made the whole space smell so good. It was so relaxing, and it just gave that fun extra element of ambiance to the shop as we were woodworking and working on some projects. So if you are in the market for a candle, I encourage you to give this one a try. I will have the particular one that I will have that linked in the description box for y'all, as well as a huge array of candles that they offer. They have a really good selection, and you get a lot of candle. It's a great deal for, you get a lot of bang for your buck. That's what I'm trying to say. It's a 4.5 pound candle. I mean, this candle is really large, and so it's got guaranteed at least 150 hours of burn time. I bet it would last 3 to 4 months, even if I burned it every single day. So truly, it is a good deal. It's a good bang for your buck. So if you're interested, check out the link in my description box and go have a peek at their website. Thanks again, Rose Forever, for sponsoring this and for sending me this absolutely delightful candle.
For our last project today, we're going to make one more riser, and this one, my whole purpose for this one, for myself personally, is to use this in my kitchen for my soap dispensers, to stack my soap dispensers on. I just think they look cute in the kitchen with just a little bit of rise to them. However, I didn't want them to be too tall, so Michael cut this piece of beautiful walnut out for me. He got it all planed and edged and just made it all perfect and square, and everything is wonderful on it. So all it needs is a couple of legs, 4 to be exact. And I found these cute little hairpin legs on Amazon, so I'll have them linked for y'all. And these are the perfect height. It just gives this a little bit of rise, but it's not too much. It's just subtle enough that it's perfect. So to attach the legs, this is so easy, very straightforward. I just mark all of my holes, and I am using a Sharpie to mark these because this is black walnut, and I wanted to make sure I was really going to be able to see my marks. And then I just come in and pre-drill all of the holes before attaching the legs. All of our holes have now been pre-drilled, and we can go ahead and attach the legs. And I will say, I think it is very important to do the pre-drilling. Pre-drilling, especially when you're screwing a piece on, pre-drilling prevents any kind of cracking or splitting in the wood, just any kind of mishap. So it's a good practice to pre-drill before attaching your legs. And I'm just simply screwing these on. These legs did come with their own screws. However, the screws that they came with were silver. And I thought that was really weird since they're black legs, and I didn't really want the silver screws. So Michael went out and found me a whole bunch of black screws. So I'm using some black screws to attach these. So that might be something to keep in mind if you decide to make one of these for yourself and you use the same legs. Mine came with silver screws. Hopefully yours will have black ones that actually match the legs. Okay, I'm just going to go ahead and finish this really quickly. This was such a simple project, but it just looks so pretty and so high end. I just love that such a simple thing can look so pretty. And I am so happy with how well it looks with my cute little soap dispensers on these. I love them. And I will also have these soap dispensers listed in the description box for y'all. I just think they are so pretty. Another thing that you could do with this riser is add some candles if you didn't want to use it in your kitchen. It looks really pretty with the candles as well.
Well, how cute did these candle risers turn out? I think the answer to that, pretty darn cute. Y'all, I am loving them. I love how they turned out, and I loved the entire process. I think my favorite part of creating these was watching Michael turn them on the lathe, and how it was just so fascinating to me how he took a big plain old boring chunk of wood and turned it into a super cute candle base. And I love them. I love them. They're just so much fun. They're so cute. I can hardly wait to get them styled in my Christmas decor. It's a little bit early for me to start getting Christmas out, but making these and styling them with some cute little Christmas greenery really did kind of get me in the mood for Christmas. It's probably still going to be a couple weeks before I jump into that project, but they're going to be fun when I do. I am also really loving our simple little riser that we made. I made this for my kitchen so that I could have something cute to put my dish soap and hand soap and my little scrubber on, and I think it's lovely. I think it just has this cuteness to it, but this elevated look at the same time. And I like now that I have two matching pieces, because Michael last year made me the beautiful little walnut block that I have to set some of my drinkware on and whatnot, and I love that the two pieces now match. So that was a lot of fun. And y'all, how easy was that to put together? We really just took a piece of wood and screwed some legs onto it. I mean, there was a little bit more involved. Michael did run it through the planer and the edger just to get it all perfectly square and level. So there was a little bit more involved, but honestly, it was super easy. The whole project took about 35 minutes from start to finish. And I love a good project that works up super fast. Alrighty, my sweet friends, that wraps up our projects for today. I really hope that y'all enjoyed these and that we gave you a little bit of inspiration and some fun ideas for your upcoming holiday decor. Next week, I've got more fun projects coming your way, so you're not gonna wanna miss it. Come back, see me again next week. Until then, y'all take care, and I will see you soon. Bye. How do we look? Some days are good hair days, some days are bad hair days. Today's a bad hair day. Fix my wardrobe a little bit. Excuse me while I just stand here and do a little bit of grooming. So let's try that again. Take two. And now I have to start all over. I think I need a glass of wine now.